Hey there, and welcome to today's Explainer. Okay, quick exercise. I want you to picture a fig. You're probably imagining the soft, sweet little fruit, right? Well, get ready because that sweet package you've been eating, yeah, not a fruit, not at all. It's actually this bizarre botanical wonder, a true marvel of nature that we have literally been miscategorizing in our grocery aisles for decades.
So technically speaking, a fig is what's called a syconium. Basically, it's this fleshy, bulb-shaped pod that acts as a container. And inside this pod, a whole cluster of inverted flowers that literally bloom from the inside out. It's wild. When you take a bite of a fig, you aren't eating a single fruit. You are actually eating hundreds of tiny, sweet, internal flowers that have all matured together into this one seedy, honey-sweet package.
All right, here's our game plan for today. 1, not a fruit, a flower. 2, the nutritional profile. 3, 4 major health benefits. 4, fresh versus dried, the difference. And finally, 5, preparation and moderation.
Let's jump right into section 1. Not a fruit, a flower. The ancient history of the syconian.
Now, history actually shows us just how revered the fig was way before modern nutritional science caught up. I mean, in ancient Greece, they were totally associated with health and prosperity, symbolically linked to Demeter, the goddess of agriculture. Over in ancient Rome, they were literally offered to the god Bacchus. And if we jump ahead to the pre-modern era, well before refined sugar was even a thing in our kitchens, figs were the absolute go-to natural sweetener for desserts. That's actually exactly where the famous figgy pudding comes from. They just thrive in those hot, dry Mediterranean climates, and humans have relied on them for centuries.
Moving right along to section 2, the nutritional profile. Small package, massive nutrients. Let's break this down a bit. For a single, medium-sized raw fig, we're talking maybe 2¼ inches, you're looking at just 37 calories. It's a completely naturally fat-free and cholesterol-free food. It gives you a solid 10 grams of carbs, powered by 8 grams of natural sugars, and nearly 1.5 grams of dietary fiber. So, what we have here is a highly efficient, perfectly packaged energy source straight from nature. But hey, the macros are only half the story, right? While eating a couple of figs won't entirely max out your daily requirement for any single vitamin, they pack an incredibly diverse punch of vital micronutrients into such a tiny space. They're especially rich in copper, which you absolutely need for your metabolism and making blood cells, and vitamin B6, which is crucial for breaking down dietary protein and keeping your brain healthy. Plus, you're getting these nice, modest hits of potassium, magnesium, vitamin K, and calcium. Which brings us to section 3, 4 major health benefits, how the inverted flower heals the body.
We are going to systematically explore the real physiological impact figs have on 4 massive areas of your health: your gut, your heart, your blood sugar, and your bones. Starting off with digestion. Now, most fiber-filled fruits are pretty great for the gut, but figs, they go a step further. They provide prebiotic nutrients. This means they are literally the food source for the good bacteria living in your microbiome. And a healthy microbiome means lower inflammation and much better immune function. Plus, figs are an incredibly effective natural remedy for sluggish bowels. Let's just say, they really get things moving. They're especially amazing for folks dealing with IBS-C, or irritable bowel syndrome with constipation. To show you just how powerful they really are for the gut, check out this number from a 2019 study. Researchers took 150 people suffering from IBS-C and had them eat about 45 grams of dried figs, so roughly 4 figs, twice a day. The results? The fig-eating group experienced significantly less bloating, bowel pain, and straining compared to the control group, a real game changer. Let's move to benefit 2, heart health. We all know high blood pressure is a massive driver of heart disease and stroke, and a huge culprit there is eating too much sodium and not enough potassium. Well, because figs are such a potassium-rich food, they actively step in to help correct that dangerous imbalance. The high levels of fiber actually work right alongside that potassium to help flush excess dietary sodium straight out of your system. Basically, they're protecting your heart from our notoriously salty modern diets. All right, benefit 3 focuses on blood sugar. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Wait, didn't you just tell me it has 8 grams of sugar per fig? Yes, fresh figs absolutely contain natural sugars, but their really high fiber content slows down the impact that sugar actually has on your bloodstream. Plus, the whole fruit is packed with powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory chemicals like polyphenols, which help lessen the inflammatory effects of metabolic disorders like diabetes. Interestingly, though, the real secret weapon for blood sugar might actually be the leaves.
Check this out. In one small but incredibly fascinating study, people with type 1 diabetes drank fig leaf tea every day. Over the course of the month they drank this tea, they actually needed 12% less insulin to keep their blood sugar in a healthy range. 12%. That's just wild. Wrapping up our health benefits, we have bone density. Figs offer this fantastic mineral tag team of calcium and potassium. Calcium is your key structural component. It physically builds the bone. Meanwhile, studies are showing that a potassium-rich diet actively reduces bone turnover. So together, they work hand in hand to improve your overall bone density and protect against really debilitating conditions like osteoporosis. Let's look at Section 4, Fresh versus Dried. The difference, a critical nutritional split.
You really have to compare fresh versus dried by weight. Look at this. If you take 40 grams of fresh figs, you're getting 30 calories and 6.5 grams of sugar. Not bad at all. But when you remove the water to make a dried fig, you are concentrating everything. That same 40 grams of dried figs skyrockets up to 100 calories and 20 grams of sugar. The drying process essentially triples the sugar by weight. It's the exact same nutritional profile, just condensed into a much more sugar-dense package.
Section 5. Preparation and Moderation. The Sweet Catch. This massive jump in sugar brings us to a bit of a reality check. Maxine Smith, a registered dietitian at the Cleveland Clinic, confirms that while eating figs daily as part of a balanced diet is fantastic, if you overindulge, you'll regret it. Why? Well, because figs have a famously strong natural laxative effect. We just talked about how great they are for constipation, but if you sit there and eat them by the fistful as a snack, that beneficial fiber absolutely turns against you, and you're looking at a severe gut ache and diarrhea. Definitely a situation we want to avoid. So what is the magic number? Well, if your digestion is already pretty regular, dietitians recommend capping it at just 2 or 3 fresh or dried figs a day. Now, if you're someone who gets backed up frequently, you might be able to safely push that up to 4. But honestly, keeping it to 2 or 3 ensures you get all those amazing vitamins, minerals, and prebiotic fiber while keeping both your sugar intake and your stomach perfectly in check. And if you want to safely work those 2 or 3 figs into your routine, they make just an incredible natural sweetener. Here are 3 super actionable ways dietary experts recommend preparing them. Number 1, chop them up small and mix them right into bread, cookie, or muffin dough. Just treat them like raisins. Number 2, cook your chopped figs over medium heat until they're nice and soft. Then press them into a pan with some other ingredients to make your own homemade fig bars. Or number 3, for a really simple dessert, just slice them lengthwise, hit them with a little drizzle of honey and cinnamon, and roast them in the oven for about 40 minutes. Absolutely delicious. We have seen how this remarkable botanical oddity supported entire ancient civilizations, how its fiber literally heals the gut and protects the heart, and exactly how you can safely use it to naturally sweeten your life. So I will leave you with this one thought for your next trip to the grocery store. Will you swap your refined sugar for an inverted flour? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.